Good morning, Year 6. Welcome to another maths lesson. Today, we're going to be combining the knowledge that we have from the past 2 days where we've been doing different conversions between units of measurement with our problem-solving skills that we've learned throughout our time at primary school. I'm going to share my screen with you now and we're going to get started on some word problems that involve conversions between different units of measurement. But before we move on to our word problems, just like every other day, you're going to start by doing your morning arithmetic questions. Please pause the video now and solve these 6 questions on your piece of paper. Make sure that I can see you're working out so that we know that you've been doing them independently and carefully. So you should have answered all 6 questions and written down all of your working out. I'm now going to go through the answers with you. For most of them, I don't really need to go into too much detail. I want to talk mostly about question 3 and question 6. Question 3, there's loads of different ways that you could have done it, but I think the fastest way would have been to convert 4.5 to 4.5 and then double it, 9. There's so many other ways that you could have done it, but that to me would be the quickest mental method. For question 6, if you didn't line up the digits by the decimal point, you would have got this one incorrect. You can see here I've lined them up by the decimal point. I need my placeholder 0 there in order to be able to solve this. I'm going to regroup 1, 0, 4, 0, 2. 204.01. Okay, right, we're going to now have a go at these 2 reasoning questions. You'll notice I've included fewer reasoning questions, but I've made sure they're much larger. The reason I've done that is because some people were saying they can't see the questions. Thank you to everyone for your feedback regarding the maths videos. Because I'm not actually doing them myself once I've filmed them, it's quite hard for me to know exactly what issues children might be having. So thank you for that feedback, and now you've got 2 much larger reasoning questions to have a go at. Please can you pause the video now and solve these 2 questions. But remember, if it's time, you need to use a number line. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've finished doing those 2 reasoning questions. If you haven't, please pause the video and have a go at them now, because we're going to go through the answers. Now, I always tell you, if you're solving problems with time, you need to use a number line, because remember, there are 60 minutes in an hour, not 100. So our regrouping doesn't work for column addition. Olivia does her maths, French and history homework for a total of 3 hours. She spends 70 minutes on her history homework, 15 minutes on her maths homework. How many minutes does she spend doing her French homework? Okay, for this question here, we didn't actually really necessarily need a number line, but we could have done. The first thing that I need to do for the first question is convert, something we have been working on. I know there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, so 3 hours will be 60 times 3, which is 180. Okay, I'm now going to take away the time she spent on the other subjects. So take away 70 minutes for history, that leaves me with 110 minutes. Now take away 15 minutes, leaving you with 95 minutes. She spent 95 minutes on her homework. Because it asked my answer in minutes, I should not convert that into hours and minutes. Question 2, though, this is where we needed to use our number line. A television programme begins at 6:10 p.m. The programme ends at 7:05 p.m. How long did it last? Okay, so I need to get from 6:10 to 7:05 in 2 jumps. My first jump will be to 7 o'clock. How many minutes did I need to add there to get from 6 to 7? Well done if you said 50. Now my second jump will be to 7:05, that's another 5 minutes. So in total, the television programme lasted 55 minutes. And if you, like me, wrote M there, make it mins, because M stands for meters, as we know. Okay, today we are going to be solving a variety of problems involving measure. Can I ask you please to pause the video now, write the date, the WALT, and do these 3 conversion questions. 4.5 litres into millilitres, 34 centimetres into metres, and 4.67 metres into centimetres. Don't forget to use your conversion charts if you need to. Pause the video and answer those questions. Okay, so I'm going to go through the answers now, remembering that we need to use our conversion facts in order to help us. For this question, we're converting from litres to millilitres. I know there are 1,000 millilitres in a litre, and I'm converting to the smaller unit, so I need to times. 4.5 times 1,000. Down, 1, 2, 3. 4 there, 5 there. Placeholders here and here. 4,500 millilitres. Okay, for the second question, I'm converting from centimetres to metres. There are 100 centimetres in a metre, and I'm going to the big unit of measurement, so I need to divide. That's 34 divided by 100. Both of those digits need to move 2 places, giving me 0.34 metres. If you multiplied by 100, you weren't thinking carefully enough there about whether you're going to the big unit of measurement or the small one. Now I've got 4.67 metres, and I'm converting it to centimetres. I know there's 100 centimetres in a metre, and I'm going to the smaller unit of measurement, so I times 467 centimetres. Okay, we've done 2 lessons on these conversions, so you should be feeling confident with them if you've been following my steps to success. Today, we're going to be combining that knowledge with our problem-solving knowledge in order to answer a series of questions. We're going to do some questions together, and then there'll be questions for you to do. If the question's written in black, that's a question that I'm going to solve, and I'm going to talk you through how to do it. If the question's written in green, I'll ask you to pause the video and have a go by yourself. So please make sure you're following the instructions on the video carefully so that you know what to do. Always start by reading your problem. Amal is trying to fill a bucket with water. The bucket can hold 6 litres of water. She already has 2,340 millilitres of water in the bucket. How much more water does she need? Step 1 is to convert if needed. Wherever you see 2 different units of measure, and I've said this before, but if you see 2 different units of measure, whether they're 2 different denominators for a fraction, whether they're fractions and percentages, whether it's grams and kilograms, but if you see 2 different units, the first step in a word problem is to do your conversion. Always convert to the smaller unit of measure, and I know there's 1,000 millilitres in a litre, so 6 litres will be 6,000 millilitres. Before I even start doing anything else, I'm going to convert all of my units of measure to the same. Now, my next step is to visualise the problem, because this will help you with step 3, which is spelt wrong. And I've just realised that's spelt wrong, and it will be spelt wrong throughout the entire video because I copy and pasted. Step 3 is determine. I'm really sorry about that. Determine what you're going to do for step 1. So step 2, visualise your problem. A bucket with water. It's already got 2,340 millilitres in. How much more is needed? Here's my bucket. Here's 6 litres. I'm here. I'm looking for how much more. I know with a question like how much more, that's a comparison, a subtraction question. So I just need to do 6,000 subtract 2,340. Okay? 0 subtract 0 is 0. 0 subtract 4 is not possible, so I will regroup. Going to cut a corner and make that 9 because I know if I make it 10 and then I cross one out and make it 9, then it will be 10 subtract 4 is equal to 6. 9 subtract 3 is equal to 6. And 5 subtract 2 is equal to 3. I then, for these questions, need to put my unit of measurement in, here it's millilitres, and decide if there's another step needed. No, there was no more information, just how much more water needs to fit. That's all I needed to do there. Okay, I'm going to do the next one as well. A juice bottle holds 1 litre. Aisha drinks a quarter of the drink. How much is left in the bottle in millilitres? Okay, convert. I'm asked for my answer in millilitres, but at the moment it's litres. 1 litre is 1,000 millilitres. Okay, the second conversion I'm going to have to do is this 1 quarter. Aisha drinks a quarter of the drink. I don't know how much that is yet, so I'll need to find out what 1 quarter of 1,000 is. 1,000 divided by 4 is 250 millilitres. Right, now I've converted all of my answers into millilitres, I can visualise the problem and decide what needs to happen. Here's a bottle of juice. She's going to drink a quarter of it. That means it's going to go away. So I'm doing a subtraction. 1,000, take away 250. I already know that from my known facts will be 750 millilitres. 750 millilitres of water left, of juice left. Go back to the question then, and sometimes, you then need to go back to the question and think about whether or not that makes sense. She had a litre, she's drunk some, and now she's got 750 millilitres. Yes, that's plausible. Okay, this is the first question that you're going to do then. I'm going to read you the problem, and then you're going to pause it and go through those steps to find the answer. Ronald has 6 metres of string. He uses 432 centimetres to tie his toy plane to the ceiling. How much string does he have left? Remember, convert, visualise and determine your step. Pause the video now and solve this question. Okay, at this point, you should have answered question 1 on your piece of paper. You know it's a question for you to do on your paper independently because it's in green and it's numbered. Question number 1. This is your question to solve. If you haven't yet done it, please pause the video and solve question 1. Right, convert. 6 meters is 600 centimeters. If you said it was 6,000, you forgot that there's only 100 centimeters in a meter. If you did forget that, why don't you quickly write it down now? 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. That way, if there's another question involving meters and centimeters, you will remember it. Okay, he uses 435 centimeters of string to tie up his toy plane. How much is left? Visualize, see it going, it's being used, therefore I'm subtracting. 600, take away 432. Well done if you knew to take away here. All right, 0 minus 2 is not possible, so I'm regrouping. That becomes 5, this will be a 9, and this 10. 10 subtract 2 is 8, 9 subtract 3 is 6, and 5 subtract 4 is 1. What's my unit of measure though? Centimeters. If you forgot your unit of measure, please remember your unit of measure for each of these questions. Well done if you got that question right. You're now going to try the next question by yourself, but wait for me to read it to you first. Mason is packing a suitcase to go on holiday. The weight limit is 24 kilograms. At the moment, he's got 12,375 grams in his suitcase. How much more could he pack? Convert, visualize, determine the step, pause the video and have a go. You should have answered question 2 now on your piece of paper. I need to see you working out when you upload your work. So if you just put in the answer, that's automatically going to make your teacher think you've cheated. We need to see all of the calculations that you've done in order to know you've done it independently, and also it's good practice for when you're doing a test. They'll always ask to see your calculations. Step 1, convert. Always convert to the smaller unit. So 24 kilograms, I know there's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, so I'm timesing by 1,000. That would be 24,000 grams. Okay, if you accidentally went to 2,400, you only times by 100. So that means you don't know this fact, write it down to help you. Okay, he's already got 12,375 in. How much more? I know that phrase, how much more, means it's also a subtraction. So I'm doing 24,000, take away 12,375. Going to have to do some regrouping again. 0 minus 5 is not possible, so I'll regroup. That becomes 3, 9, 9 and 10. 10 subtract 5 is equal to 5, 9 subtract 7 is 2, 9 subtract 3 is 6, 3 subtract 2 is 1, and 2 subtract 1 is 1. What's your unit of measure though? It's grams. He can pack another 11,625 grams in his suitcase. Okay, the next group of questions that we're going to look at are a group of questions that some people find hard to spot. So please make sure you're paying attention as I'm talking through the different ways you can recognise what you need to do in these problems. Annie has 2 litres of Coke and she is pouring a glass for each of herself and 7 friends. How much Coca-Cola does each child drink? Step 1, convert. 2 litres, I know, is 2,000 millilitres. Okay, step 2, visualize the problem. See her holding a large bottle of Coca-Cola and she's pouring it out for all of her friends. What's happening there? Is that adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? I could do it with repeated subtraction if I knew how much was being given out, but I don't. It's being split into equal groups, that means I am dividing. If your groups are equal, you need to find the answer through division. So I'm doing 2,000 divided by not 7. Yes, she has 7 friends, but don't forget about her. Divided by 8. Loads of ways you could do this. I think for me, I'm going to try and do it a mental way rather than using the bus stop method. I know to divide by 8, I'd need to halve it to get divided by 2, so that's 1,000. Halve it again to divide by 4, that's 500. Halve it again to get divided by 8, that'd be 250 millilitres. Or I could have used the formal written method. 8 into 2, 0. 8 into 20, 2. Regroup 4. 8 into 45. Now regrouping 8 into 0, 0. However you get there, so long as you get the right answer, that's all that matters. Okay, a bottle holds 2 litres of orange juice. I'm going to solve this one using a bar model because that sometimes helps some children. 2 litres of orange juice. How many 250 millilitre glasses can you pour from the bottle? So first of all, I convert that to 2000 millilitres. I'm now being asked how many 250 millilitre glasses can I pour from the bottle? How many times will 250 fit? If you're thinking now, I know, I'll just take away 250, then take away 250, then take away 250, then take away 250, and so on and so on. You're not wrong, but that's the slowest possible way you could solve the problem. I know it's becoming less, so I'm either subtracting or dividing. I know that each glass is the same amount. So what I'm actually doing there is splitting it into equal groups, and that is the same as dividing. So I'm doing 2000 divided by 250. Again, loads of ways you could do this. You could count in 250s, or you could cancel out your zeros and count in 25s. Let's count in 250s. I'm going to get my fingers ready. Please join in with me. 250, 500, 750, 1000, 1250, 1500, 1750, 2000. So there are 8 groups of 250 in 2000. Now, what's my unit of measure here? Is it millilitres? Have a little think, read the question again. How many 250 millilitre glasses of orange juice can you pour from the bottle? I can't answer that with 8 millilitres. It's actually 8 glasses. 8 glasses of orange juice. So, to recap, if you have a large amount that's being split into lots of equal-sized small amounts, that means you're doing division. You're going to have a go at a question now. Please, when I finish reading the question, answer this question on your piece of paper. A bag contains 4.2 kilograms of rabbit food. A rabbit eats 4 grams of food every day at an equal group. How many days does the bag of rabbit food last? So that's like taking away 40 grams every day taking away 40 grams. That's a very slow way of doing that calculation. Can you remember the other way to solve it? Please pause the video now and solve question 3 with all of your working out on your piece of paper. Make sure you've answered question 3 before you unpause this video, because I'm about to go through the answers. Step 1, convert. That is 4,200 grams. That's the very first thing I need to do before I do anything else. Right, I'm now going to visualize my problem. Big bag of rabbit food, and every day my rabbit is taking away a small chunk, but every day it's 40 grams. That means I need to divide 4,200 divided by 40. Now, when you're dividing, a little trick that you can use is if both the product and the factor ends in zeros, you can cancel out both zeros. I know that 4,200 divided by 40 will have the same answer as 420 divided by 4. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier for myself and just do 420 divided by 4. How many 4s fit into 4? 1. How many 4s into 2? 0. Regroup the 2. How many 4s into 20? 5. Now, what's the unit of measure? How many days does the bag of rabbit food last? Days. If you didn't write days, make sure you're including the correct unit of measure. Right. We've looked at 2 main types of word problems. We've looked at addition and subtraction word problems, and we've looked at division word problems. What I'd like you to do now is have a go at these mixed up word problems. So here's your first 3 questions. You're going to need to pause the video and solve all 3 questions independently on your piece of paper. Don't forget to write down the question numbers. Don't forget that you need to convert, visualize, and determine your step. And remember, if you need to, you can always look at the piece of paper from yesterday where you wrote down all of your conversion facts in order to help you. Please pause the video now and answer these 3 questions. Okay, well done. The next 2 questions, you're going to do exactly the same thing. So you're going to pause the video again and answer question 7 and question 8 on your piece of paper. These are not the last questions, so please don't stop. As soon as you finish question 8, there's more questions to do that we're going to do together. So please do not turn off the video as soon as you finish question 8. Okay, you need to have finished all of these independent questions. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. If you haven't done them, rewind the video and go back and give yourself enough time to complete them. You're now going to solve question 9. This question is involving the mean and conversion. All of these questions involve conversion. So if you're trying to solve one without converting, please go back and redo it. Remember, there's two steps to find the mean. The first one is adding, the second one is dividing. Hopefully that will trigger your memory to help you solve this question. Okay. We're now going to look at some two-part problems, all right? It's really important during these problems, which are a little bit more complicated, that you're really paying attention. Miss Smith has 3 litres of water. There are 8 children in her class who are thirsty. She pours them 125 millilitres of water each. How much water is left? Right, before I do anything else, I need to convert. 3 litres is 3,000 millilitres. Okay, now I need to visualise the problem. She's got a large bottle of water and she's pouring out glasses, each with 125 millilitres. That tells me that my first step is going to be to work out how much water she pours out in total using these two facts here. 8 children would like some water and each glass is 125 millilitres. So I'll start by working out how much water that is in total. 8 times 125. Some of you might be recognising your fact 1/8 is equal to 12.5 and thinking, oh, I know what this is in my head. But for those of you who haven't made that link yet, let's quickly work it out. 8 times 5 is equal to 40. 8 times 2 is 16, add 4 is equal to 20. 8 times 1 is 8, add 2 is 10. Well done if you beat me to it by doing it mentally and you got the answer 1,000 millilitres. So she's poured out 8 glasses of 125 millilitres and that in total is 1,000 millilitres. But I haven't solved my problem yet. She's poured away 1,000 millilitres. How much is left? Step 2, how much is left? I'm going to do a subtraction. 3,000 millilitres take away 1,000 millilitre will give me 2,000 millilitres. Can you see how I split that question into my 2 different steps? Right, I'm going to show you another question similar to that, but slightly different, and then you're going to have a go at these 2-part problems yourself. Nadia has some guinea pigs. She has 2 adults and 1 baby. The adults need 20 grams of food and the baby needs 10 grams of food. She has a 2.1 kilogram bag of guinea pig food. She has a bag with 2.1 kilograms of guinea pig food in it. For how many days can she feed her guinea pig? Hopefully you're recognising this second part where we're trying to find how many days she can do it. We know that's divide. But before we can do that, we've got to work out this information. How much food is needed each day? It's not a simple case of, oh, we need 400 grams each day. We've got to work that out. The adults each need 20 grams of food and the baby needs 10 grams of food. Okay, in total, then, that's 50 grams of food. Right, I'm just going to clear this because it's got a bit messy. In total, then, all the guinea pigs need 50 grams. For the next step, I can see I didn't even do this first. I should have converted that immediately. 2,100 grams. For my next step then, I want to know for how many days can I give my guinea pigs 50 grams? If I take away 50 every single day, how many times can I do it? That's 2,100 divided by 50. Remember that cool trick I showed you earlier, where if you're dividing with 2 numbers that end in zeros, you can cancel out one of the zeros. So now I'm simply doing 210 divided by 5. You might remember my special method for dividing by 5. If so, have a go at doing it mentally whilst I show you how you could do it using the written method. So if you think you can do 210 divided by 5 in your head, have a go at that now whilst I go through this. How many 5s fit into 2? None. How many 5s into 21? 4. Remainder 1. How many 5s fit into 10? 2. Now, that clever mental method I told you. If you're dividing by 5, you could do 210 divided by 10, which is 21, but then times that by 2 to get 42. Dividing by 5 is the same as dividing by 10 and timesing by 2. Right. I'd like you to have a go at this question, but I'm going to talk through all of the information first. A 1.5 kilogram bag of oats costs £2.50. Here's my big bag of oats and it costs me £2.50. Inside of it, it's got 1.5 kilograms of oats. Jim uses 50 grams of oats in his porridge each day. How much would it cost to buy enough oats for breakfast for 60 days? Jim uses 50 grams of oats in his porridge every day. How much would it cost to buy enough oats for breakfast for 60 days? I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at this question, remembering your step 1 is to convert. Don't worry if you're finding this tricky, because I'll go through the problem afterwards. So have a go at this question by yourself first. Well done to everyone who's tried to solve this question by themselves first. On your piece of paper, I don't mind if you've got the answer right or wrong. The most important thing is that you've had a go at it. Firstly, I need to convert. That is the very first step that I'm going to take. 1.5 kilograms is 1,500 grams. Once I've done that, I'm going to continue solving the problem. He uses 50 grams of oats and porridge every day. How much would it cost to have enough oats for 60 days? My first step is to work out how much oats he would use over 60 days. 50 grams a day for 60 days. 5 times 6 is 30. And then because both of these numbers were 10 times bigger, the product also needs to be 10 times bigger. Okay, so I need 3,000 grams of porridge. How many bags is that? How many 1.5 kilogram or 1,500 grams is that? Well done if you notice that's 2 bags. So how much does it cost? £2.50 times by 2. That is £5. If you got this question correct, I'm really impressed. Well done. We're going to look at another question now. I'm going to read you the problem and then you're going to pause it and have a go. A 6-litre bucket of water has a leak in it. Every minute it leaks 324 millilitres of water. After 15 minutes, how much water is left in the bucket? Remember, this is a 2-step problem, so do your first part and then your second part. If you don't have 2 calculations, it's going to be wrong for a 2-mark question, and this is a 2-mark question. Please pause the video and have a go, remembering to use all of the steps. Hopefully you've had a go at solving this question completely by yourself now. If you haven't done this question by yourself, pause the video and have a go. There's no harm in trying, but if you don't try, you will never succeed. So it's really important to try by yourself before we go through the answers together, okay? So every minute, a 6-litre bucket of water has a leak in it. Every minute, 324 millilitres of water are falling out. Firstly, I need to convert that. 6 litres is 6,000 millilitres. Okay, every minute, 324 millilitres fall out. After 15 minutes, how much water is left in the bucket? First, I need to know how much water has fallen out over 15 minutes. 324 millilitres of water every 15 minutes. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10. Add 2 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. Add 1 is 16. 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 3 is 3. Let's add those up. 0, 6, 8, 4. So my first calculation has told me that after 15 minutes, I will have lost 324 millilitres of water. 324 times by 15 is going to be 4,860 millilitres. How much is left? Well done if you decided that that meant step 2 was a subtraction. 6,000 subtract 4,860. 0 is going to go here, then I'm going to have to regroup for the rest of it. 4, 1, 1. Don't forget your unit of measurement is going to be millilitres. Well done if your final answer was 1,140 millilitres. Really good job. Okay, for the last part of the lesson then, I think it's 4 questions I've prepared for you. Yep, 4 questions. Each of these are 2 marks. That tells you you're going to do at least 2 steps. If you're struggling, please just go back and rewatch the 2-mark questions we've already done, as they're actually quite similar to these ones. Please pause the video now and answer these 2 questions on your paper, question 12 and 13. For those of you who are struggling, I'm going to read them out loud to you. A bottle of juice contains 3 litres. Ellie pours out 7 glasses of juice, which are all 250 millilitres. How much juice is left in the jug? Now, if you're finding this one tricky, go back in the video because it's very like an example I did. Question 13. A bottle holds 1 litre of lemonade. Rachel fills 5 glasses with lemonade and she puts 150 millilitres in each glass. How much lemonade is left? Again, if you're struggling, please go back and watch where I did this question, because that question is very similar. Okay, you're now moving on to questions 14 and 15. If you didn't do question 12 and 13, please go back and pause the video and solve those questions. I'm going to read you question 14 and 15 now. Rice comes in a 3-kilogram bag. A recipe needs 200 grams of rice per person. Alex cooks enough rice for 3 people. How much is left in the bag? Question 15. Zach has 3 kilograms of strawberries, but half of them have gone mouldy. He puts the mouldy ones in the bin and makes jam with the rest. Each jar of jam needs 250 grams. How many jars can he make? Please pause the video now and solve those questions. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers to all of those independent questions you did where they were mixed problems. It's really important that you guys are taking your learning seriously and doing the work independently. I'm sure I don't need to say this, but if you haven't solved the problems first, you should not continue listening to the answers. Okay, for the first question, you are looking for the perimeter. First, you need to convert 12 centimetres into 120 millimetres. Then remember, the perimeter is the measurement around the outside. My favourite way of finding the perimeter, I'll quickly label up my numbers. My favourite way of finding the perimeter is to do 120 add 45, which is 165, and then times that by 2 to include those ones. Some people do it differently. Some people do 120 times 2, add 45 times 2, but ultimately the answer was 330 millimetres or 33 centimetres. For question 5, convert 1.8 into 1,800 millilitres, and then you want to know how many groups of 15 fit, so that's division. 1,800 divided by 15 is 120. For question 6, convert 1 litre to 1,000 millilitres, and then you're subtracting what's been drunk. You're left with 655 millilitres. Okay, for this one, you needed to, a juice bottle holds 2 litres and Aisha drinks a quarter of it. First, find 1/4 of 2,000. 1/4 of 2,000 is 500, and then because she's drunk it, how much is left? You're doing a subtraction. Your answer was 1,500. For the next question, Amanda is making some friendship bracelets. First, convert 2 meters to 200 centimeters. You want to know how many groups of 15 will fit. So that means you're doing division. 200 divided by 15 would have given you 13.3333333333. Now, we know that you can't have 13.33333 bracelets, so you should have rounded that down to 13 bracelets. I can't round it up to 14. She can't make 14. She can make 13. If you said this was your final answer, make sure you're looking at your remainder carefully. Okay, Lewis's experiment. First, you needed to convert these units of measurements into centimetres. Then you have to add them all up to get 353 and divide that by 4, leaving you 88.25 centimetres. This one you leave as a decimal because your mean can be a decimal number. If you'd rounded it down to 88 centimetres, for now I'll let you mark that correctly, but next time remember the mean can be a decimal. Okay, these 2-mark problems. First, you had to convert 3 litres to 3,000 millilitres. Then you work out how much juice has gone. 7 glasses of 250 millilitres is 1,700 millilitres, but the actual question said how much is left. So then you did your subtraction. 3,000 take away 1,750 is 1,250. This next one was basically exactly the same. 5 groups of 150 is 750 millilitres, and then subtract that to get 250. For your next question then, a recipe needs 200 grams of rice for 3 people. So first, how much do you need for 3 people? 600 grams. Then once you've converted 3 kilograms into grams, you do 3,000 take away 600 to leave you 2,400 grams. Finally, Zach has 3 kilograms of strawberry, but half of them have gone mouldy. He puts the mouldy ones in the bin. That means instead of 3,000 grams, because I've converted that one, I need to divide that by 2 and just have 1,500 grams. I've got rid of the mouldy ones. Now I want to know how many jars of jams I can make when each jar needs 250. It's up to you how you found that, but the answer was 6 jars. Not 6 grams, 6 jars. Give that a tick if you got that one correct. Well done to everyone for their very hard work. I understand that those two-part word problems might have been a little bit tricky for everyone, but I'm really impressed with everyone who gave them their best go. Please don't forget to upload your work onto Seesaw, but remember I will probably be a little bit suspicious if everyone's got every single question correct. Be honest and be serious about what you've done and what you found difficult so that your teachers know how best to support you. Thank you so much to everyone who's worked their hardest, and I'll see you all tomorrow.